It's got a laid back kind of small village vibe, and it's a great place to live.
It is awesome. And you are like literally at the center of Inner Sunset, nice and Irving, which we're going to cover in a little bit. That's like center of everything for Inner Sunset.
Definitely
Right?
is the center, yeah.
Welcome to the Bay Insider with Amanda and Ying, where we talk about history, lifestyle, and real estate in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Welcome to the Bay Insider. And today we're going to talk about Inner Sunset. And we have Amanda here, of course, and we have Marilyn, my dear friend Marilyn. I have known her for 4 years now, ever since I joined COI. Right? About 4 years?
4 years, yeah.
So Marilyn works for SF State.
I do, yeah.
And what's your job again?
So I'm the head of the international division. So we do study abroad, and we also work with our incoming international students, and we do international student recruiting for San Francisco State.
And you are the expert because you live...
So I have lived in the Inner Sunset since 1993.
We had to count. It was 31 years,
it's
right?
31 years. It's 31 years. It's the only place I've lived in San Francisco.
Really?
And I'll say that when I first moved here,
And where did you move from?
I moved from New York State.
Okay.
I moved to San Francisco on a dare.
No, seriously. I didn't know that story.
Seriously.
A dare.
Moved to San Francisco on a dare. My two besties from college were like, hey, why don't you come out and live in San Francisco? And
So they were living here?
Yeah, and being from New York State, I always thought that New York City was my destination. And I was like, why would anybody want to live in San Francisco? And then they're like, well, what are you doing now? And I'm like, I don't have a job. I'm temping. They're like, great, you can do that out here. So I moved out thinking I would stay just about a year. That was in 1993. And here I am 31 years later. Absolutely love San Francisco. Absolutely love the Inner Sunset.
Yeah.
And when I first moved to the Inner Sunset, people were like, oh, you're going to hate it. It's so foggy. It's so cold. And,
get used to it, right?
But it is exactly what you said. It's got a laid back kind of small village vibe, and it's a great place to live.
It is awesome. And you are like literally at the center of Inner Sunset, nice and Irving, which we're going to cover in a little bit. That's like center of everything for Inner Sunset,
definitely
right?
is the center of everything.
Yeah, even today, as we were coming here, there was a festival going on, right?
Yeah, the Fall Equinox Festival.
We didn't know what it was.
I didn't know, but I had enjoyed the Summer Solstice Festival and also the Spring Equinox Festival. And basically, they call it an art walk. I believe
Was it on the streets?
So there was music. They had musicians set up, kind of stationed around the Inner Sunset, and a lot of the stores were open. And what I remember from the last time is that there were different artists who were displaying and selling their artwork in different stores around the Sunset. And I believe it was organized by Hunt and Gather, which was one of the places I was going to talk about.
Oh, really?
Hunt and Gather is on Irving.
I think I've driven by 11th or 12th.
Is it a gallery?
A small gallery. Pre-pandemic, they also used to have food demonstrations and things like that. But it's a small gallery, and they sell local artists' work.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, this weekend is Art Span.
They're having in Noe Valley. They're having an art thing.
That's exactly what's happening.
Town Square as well.
Yeah. That's all over the city.
But I feel like just to talk about the greater city. Yeah, there's more of these things happening, right? Do you feel
far more? Yes,
absolutely,
all the time.
Absolutely, like that. That we're not talking about the Outer Sunset today, but the Outer Sunset Night Market.
Yes,
what a great thing!
It was awesome, right?
And that was so much fun,
Yeah,
and then there's also downtown. Like the financial district, the first Thursdays.
Yeah, Thursday, yeah.
Which I have to say was not as fun as the Outer Sunset Night Market.
Really?
I think the Outer Sunset Night Market was just like everybody was there. It was like
it has to find its groove.
And the downtown it wasn't quite enough yet. Yeah, but I think it'll get there.
It'll get there.
And I saw in the Inner Sunset, maybe it was last week or so, I came across they were having like a flea market.
That's the one great thing about the Inner Sunset. Every Sunday there's a farmer's market.
Yes.
small little farmer's market in the little parking lot, but really, really good stuff. That's where I get my fruit every week and flowers. And then every month they also have a flea market. That's fun too. It's also catch as catch can, lots of thrift stores, and jewelry and knickknacks.
That's awesome.
In the Christmas time, that municipal building right when you go into the Golden Gate Park,
Sure.
they have also like a Christmas market.
But let me backtrack a little bit. Let's
we got carried
introduce.
away with our excitement about the
we're
Inner
all
Sunset.
excited about Inner Sunset. There's just so much going on, but it's actually quite laid back. It's a very small neighborhood. It's in the heart of San Francisco, but it just feels different. Geography-wise, on the west side of Inner Sunset is 19th Avenue, north Golden Gate Park, east is Arguello, which was First Avenue, and the south is Golden Gate Heights. And that's where I live. It's a very sleepy residential neighborhood, let's say.
With nice views.
With great views.
Beautiful views, yeah.
It's just quiet. It's quieter than Inner Sunset. Inner Sunset is where I go for all the food and fun. Inner Sunset, it's a home to UCSF. It's one of the largest leading universities in health sciences and life science. Because of UCSF, Inner Sunset has a lot of students and young professionals. So the entire neighborhood feels pretty young and casual, right? Would you say that?
I would say that. And also near UCSF. So every year we see the baby doctors, the new crop. I kind of like to call them the new crop of medical students who are coming in and they're getting their tour around the neighborhood. It is nice to know that you often see people in our neighborhood wearing scrubs, and so they're medical professions of some sort. So I also feel very safe if you're on the streets of the Inner Sunset. there was probably somebody who could assist you.
Yeah, lots of doctors.
Lots of doctors. Well, yeah, right, because it's a really convenient to go up the hill to UCSF. That the emergency room and the hospital are right on the hill.
And I would like to interject about that with regard to real estate. So if you're looking to have a rental property, it's a great neighborhood for that.
Let's talk about history a little bit. So like rest of Outside Lands, which is the western part of the city, Inner Sunset was sand dunes, right? Until 1887. There are two mini stories I want to tell. The first one is related to UCSF, and the second one was, let's say, Golden Gate Park. In 1849, a South Carolina surgeon named Hugh Toland, for some reason, he decided to change career. He decided he didn't want to be a surgeon anymore. He wanted to come to California as part of a gold rush. Unfortunately, he wasn't very good at being a miner. So he decided, can't do that. I need to go back to be a doctor again. So he set up a surgical practice, and eventually he opened the Toland Medical College. At that time, the mayor of San Francisco was the very famous Adolph Sutro. We talked about his importance to the western part of San Francisco. He donated 13 acres of land overlooking Golden Gate Park. That's where UCSF's campus was built in 1898.
Yeah, I mean, that's really kind of the beacon for the neighborhood. I mean, that's a huge
thing, right? So that was the beginning of Inner Sunset. Then there's another story by another young gentleman. His name is M.H. DeYoung. I'm sure everyone recognizes that name, right? He was a businessman and a newspaperman. He attended a work fair in Chicago. He was very impressed, and he decided, okay, why can't we do this in San Francisco? He came back to San Francisco, decided to organize a California Midwinter International Expo. In about 1 year time, he made it happen. So in 1894,
back in the day when they used to get so much done.
I know.
With those fairs in the Chicago. I mean, if you read about the Chicago World's Fair and then also the Pan-Pacific Exposition and then the Midwinter Fair, it's like they just threw up all these buildings overnight. I mean,
they just made it happen. I don't know how they made it happen.
And they're still there, some of them at least. So they must have done a good job.
We'll talk about that.
They're meant to be temporary.
Yeah, but I just don't know how they got things done so fast.
Lack of red tape.
They opened in 1894 because it's Midwinter Expo. So it's January 27th to July 5th. They use 200 acres. The center of that is where we exercise all the time.
Music concourse.
Concourse.
Oh,
Yes.
cool. Okay.
Yes. And we'll talk
That
about
makes so much sense.
That makes sense, right? We'll talk about the history of that a little bit. So they built 120 structures for the expo, and more than 2 million people visited. And 2 million people back then. That's
a lot of people. But the other thing is like, midwinter in San Francisco versus winter in other areas. You can see why people would want to flock to the area at that time.
Unfortunately, they took away most of the things they built during that time. The only remaining things are the Japanese tea garden and the vase, which I want to talk about.
Vase.
In front of the there's a that vase, and there are two Sphinx. Is it called
Sphinx? They're reproductions.
Yes.
The Sphinx. Yeah. But that was originally there, and when they originally did the Dian, it was like a whole crazy thing that was very Egyptian.
Right. Correct. It was Egyptian museum, I think.
Right.
And then they changed it. They had to rebuild it 2 times.
But 1960, I don't remember.
But the last one was after the earthquake, so 1989, I imagine.
Yeah.
Then I studied a little bit today about that vase because honestly, we pass by every day. I always find it fascinating, but I never know what that was. So it's called The Story of the Vine. It's by a French artist. So it's about how people make wine production. If you look closely, it has the stories. It has like bugs and mosquitoes and rats at the bottom. That's how they protect the vine. And then how they make wine. And it's basically a story of the wine. So I learned something today. I thought
I did too.
Quite fascinating. We also want to talk a little bit about California Academy of Sciences.
Which has also gone through a lot of iterations.
Yeah, also gone through a lot of changes. Yeah.
So what do you know about it?
I mean, I used to take my son there when he was little. He's now 15. But we used to go there. We had a membership and we'd go in. And after they did all of the changes and they made that amazing butterfly garden
that was beautiful, right?
That you go through. I mean, it's very impressive, and they have all the different displays and the thing about overpopulation that was fascinating. It showed how population has grown, since kind of the beginning of humankind and how quickly it exploded and just. It's very interesting. They have the alligator there, right?
The white alligator.
The white alligator that has been there. Is it the same alligator?
I think so.
It's
the same
I feel like since I was a kid, it was there.
It has been there for a long time. It
was always there when I was there.
What's your favorite part of the academy?
So what I liked about the academy is that they have those Thursday night like kind of party disco thing. After dark. Yeah, I haven't been in a while, but I keep meaning to go back. I haven't been since the pandemic, but I keep meaning to go back. And it's also, what's great about it is that the academy is cheaper. So normally what is the entrance fee? Like $35. Yeah. And during the after dark, it's much cheaper. It's like $12 or $15.
You're going to buy drinks. And
and so you can go and you can get a cocktail and just walk around and look at the museum, and they have music, and it is like, it skews a little younger than
but I love the place.
Yeah, but
but not younger, like 5-year-olds.
No. But it's it's like for adults, but skews a little younger because it's a great, cheap, fun date night, and for even those of us who are in our best years, it's also it's really fun and worthwhile. So.
It's definitely I love to look at those fish, the tropical fish there. The fish, the aquarium is beautiful.
That's beautiful. The butterflies are beautiful. That whole in the middle rainforest.
Rainforest,
and then the earthquake.
The earthquake. It's fun.
Yeah.
My son used to love that. Stand. What was it? Like
and they do.
It was a room, and then they tell you the story, and then it shakes.
And the planetarium. Like they don't have the planetarium that they used to, like the old like Led Zeppelin music, and
I don't know if you went there 30 years ago, but I sure did. 35 years ago.
So they don't. It's not quite the same
vibe,
but it is also very interesting.
What you're talking about?
Because It was an interesting vibe. The alligator is named Claude.
Claude.
They talk about his albinism.
I mean, it's not common, right? Because I've never seen white alligator anywhere.
I think it's very special.
I think in the natural environment, albino animals don't last very long because they don't have the same kind of camouflaging. Though I think alligators are kind of at the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Okay, and Claude on September 15th, which was 5 days ago from this recording, turned 29 years old.
Ooh,
So
almost
just
almost
as
as long as
only
you.
29.
Yeah.
Only 29.
Yeah, so there's maybe another Claude.
Maybe so. I was thinking more like 100, but
No.
Marilyn, since we met at the museum concourse at Koi, so please tell our listeners about Koi.
Oh, okay. So Koi Fitness changed my life. I mean, Koi Fitness is a outdoor boot camp program. It's run by Steven Krisick, and I've been going for, this will be since 2006. So this will be my 18th year.
Wow.
And
It's been around that long.
Yeah. I think it was riding the trend when there was more outdoor boot camps, and then
I remember that about 18 years ago.
and but it stayed. But the reason I think this one has stayed around so long is it's a really well run program. Steven runs a really great program, and it's also built a great community. And I think that a lot of my, including Ying, a lot of my good friendships have come out of
Koi.
Koi, and we work out together. It's pretty early in the morning. It's 6 a.m. Weekdays at 6 a.m. They do have a couple of 7 a.m. classes, and then Saturdays at 9.
But mostly 6 a.m.
Mostly 6 a.m.
Yeah, so you get a group of people who run in the dark together, better like each other, because then
you better like each other.
Well, that's great, because I wouldn't want to run by myself in the dark.
No, and what I think is really wonderful, and is that of course, I was an aerobics girly back in the day, but usually aerobics is like kind of after work, and you get kind of distracted after work, or you're tired.
Tired.
And quite frankly, at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're not doing anything, so
other than sleeping
potentially. But it's a great, it's a great time to, get out, get a little exercise,
start your day.
And I also think the program is really run very well. So it really incorporates everybody at all levels. I think people could check out Koi Fitness by going to ClassPass, for example. We use the whole park as your gym, which is the fun part about it.
Marilyn asked me today, how did you find Koi? Why did you join Koi? That was about 4 years ago.
Yeah, I was just thinking about asking.
Yeah, so I used to walk around the Golden Gate Park a lot, a museum concourse, looking at all the things I knew nothing about, obviously. And I saw this coach with a bunch of people. They were running around. They were on the ground. They were covered in dirt. I thought, those people are crazy. It's cold. It's wet. What are they doing? But then
I want to be part of that.
Yeah, but I want to be part of that. And it was COVID, so I couldn't really go back to indoors. And that's why I decided to give it a try and never left. Anyways, I want to talk about the botanical garden.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we love it. It's really a hidden secret, right? A lot of people pass by, almost, but they don't really know. But it's free for San Francisco residents.
That's the best part.
And I've been going there forever, and for me, it's the Arboretum.
It's the Arboretum, the Botanical Gardens. I still call it the Arboretum.
Yeah. It's the same thing, right?
It is the same thing. It's the same thing, but that's just how I think of it.
The great thing that they just did recently is link that for San Francisco residents, you can go to the Arboretum, Botanical Gardens, and the Japanese Tea Garden, and the Conservatory of Flowers for free.
Right. So, the Japanese Tea Garden.
Yeah, you can go to Japanese Tea.
As a resident.
I haven't been to the Japanese Tea Garden in like 20 years, and I've been like twice in the last month.
The garden's just lovely, and magnolias is my favorite.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So
magnolia season. Yeah.
Right. So beautiful. It's generally February to March. Time frame, and there's so many magnolias. I forgot 200 or so in the garden itself. So many different colors. I think you told me once upon a time you see yellow. I haven't seen one.
Such a thing.
I think pink, white, dark pink, all shades of pink. Yes. They're just lovely. But another major event is a flower piano.
which is going on right
now. Yeah, it's still time. This is the last weekend, right?
Yeah, so tell us about it. By the time this episode is out,
it'll be over. So you'll have to go next year, but still, you should know about it.
You should definitely know about it.
So Amanda, tell us about it.
And it started as a very kind of just low-key thing where they put the pianos in the park, and then people who like to play piano would just go and they'd play the piano, and it was a beautiful thing. But then it got more and more
popular,
and then they started having real musical concerts. And I think, Marilyn, you recently went to one.
Well, I'm a big fan of the flower piano. I'm a little bit late to the party on flower piano, but ever since I've heard about it, I look for it and go every year. And I do appreciate the professional performances, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But I really, it's so admirable that sheer talent that is in San Francisco. So when you park yourself at a and of course you can go around to the different pianos, but if you park yourself for a while at any piano, and just the people who come up to play, and you can never judge by the way somebody looks what music they'll play, how proficient they are, and there are a lot of people who are really, really super talented.
And even some of the kids,
and then they're kids, and there are some kids with some stage moms pushing them to do. It's like their recital, and the people who I have to say are very, very brave.
It is. It's such a great opportunity for people to try out their piano playing skills. In a kind of a low-key situation.
The crowd is always so supportive.
Right?
So supportive. That's what I'm thinking. And there are definitely people who are, promoting their music, which I also think is what a great opportunity.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
10 years it's been going on.
Okay.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah. So there was a concert last week I missed. So tell us about that concert.
This is relatively new in the Botanical Gardens. They have that lounge area where you can...
By the entrance,
where you can, you can get married, or you can have your special events
it's beautiful.
That lounge area. Really nice. And
so food trucks they have stuff there.
They had like food vendors, and so I went to see LeVay Smith and the Red Hot Skillet Liquors, and they were fantastic. They were just really great. A lot of high energy. It was freezing cold because the one thing we haven't talked about yet is the weather. But it was freezing cold, but it was lively enough, so we were up dancing a little bit, and it was really, really
Bring
fun.
Your blankets. And
Well, see. So last weekend when we stopped by, Amanda and I stopped by in the morning, and we saw so many families with little kids there. I mean, that place is great for family with little kids. I used to take my son when he was 1 or 2. We just roamed around that place forever because he could always find new flowers or new plants to look at.
And one fun fact I learned about the Botanical Garden is that because it has the plants from different geographical areas, apparently there was a big fire in Australia, and they were afraid that they were going to lose some native plants. And luckily, we have them, and we could send them like cuttings.
Don't forget about the Muppet.
Oh, yes.
The Muppet. Yeah.
I saw the video. What is it?
The Muppet about? The Muppet is like kind of a emo pop girl. And she plays like all those like
is Sesame Street. Is it Sesame Street?
Looks kind of like a Sesame Street. I think her name is Vanessa. So
okay, yeah,
and like kind of a Muppet girl with long hair, and plays kind of sad pop songs.
But is this robotic?
Yeah. So it's okay. Yeah, it's just recorded music, but it looks like
cute.
Like she's playing the piano. It's very cute.
So this year is 10 days, which is double the regular 5 days. Hopefully that continues.
I mean, I just imagine. I mean, for us, it's amazing. We live here and we can go to these things, but like coming in as a tourist and having all these amazing events to go in is so cool.
Well, let me tell. Speaking of flowers, there's something else at the De Young, which also comes around every year. It's called Bouquets to Art.
Oh, yes.
And so they have the florists from around the area come in, and they get inspired by a painting. And then they do a floral design, which kind of reflects the painting. Yeah, it's really it's really fun. And then you like kind of looking at the flowers, and you're like, oh, okay, I can see how this. Yeah, it's
I like that.
And
it's really great.
De Young's is so beautiful. Even the garden, the garden outside the cafe is just lovely, right?
Outside the cafe, there's that sculpture garden, too.
Right.
And then you can just go to the cafe. Normally, you can just go when the museum's open and just eat. Like go to the gift shop, go to the cafe without actually going to the museum.
The best part of Inner Sunset, in my mind, Well, there are two things. Obviously, the park. We talk about the park, but the second part of it is all the food, all the restaurants. And Marilyn, I know you're a foodie just based on what I know about you. So tell us about some of your favorite places.
Okay, so I came prepared for this. And I'll tell you also a little story is that, many years ago I had a housemate and I said, oh, hey, there's a new restaurant. We live on 9th, a new restaurant opening on 12th Avenue. He's like, oh, it's a pity we'll never go there. I mean, like, what do you mean we'll never go there? He's like, oh, too far away.
What?
And the
3 blocks?
Yeah. Well, the reason he was saying that is because just even in like just a 2-block area around where I live, there's just so many really, really, really delicious restaurants.
Well, there's so many. There's
so many.
After 14 years living in the neighborhood, I haven't tried all of them.
It's hard. I thought I had a goal to try every restaurant in the neighborhood. And
you did?
Haven't given up.
Well, so tell us
what's your favorites.
Okay. There's a newish restaurant that I really like called Inle.
Oh, I saw you there one day.
Yeah, Burmese.
INLA.
INLA. It's a
I think I drove by
Burmese.
INLE.
Yeah.
Burmese food, super delicious.
Okay.
Yeah, tea leaf salads. Very, very, very nice people. All this staff is extremely nice, very warm. You feel very welcome when you're there. I also like Yuma, which is the
Mediterranean.
It's Mediterranean. It's basically a shawarma place.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, again, that's also just a side note. What I like about the Inner Sunset is that it is this village atmosphere, and if you go back to your favorite places, people are happy to see you again. But and you kind of
they know each other,
like Underdog's Trace, the tacos. But you also can't leave out Gordo's because Gordo's has been in the neighborhood for years.
Yes.
Gordo's is like.
I used to go there when I was a teenager.
Gordo's, the thing is that coming from New York, I just didn't really understand anything about Mexican cuisine. I just didn't. We didn't have it. New York has changed a lot since I've left, but I just, we made tacos with the crunchy shells. Your mom would make them with the mix. And so when I first went to Gordo's, it was like the skies opened and the angels started singing. So Gordo's, always solid burritos. I also really there's a place called, I don't know how to pronounce it quite, but King Shu, QINGSHU.
Oh yeah, I know. It's a new place.
It's relatively new.
Noodle soup, and they have this hot pot.
It's it's kind of a make your own soup. It's like a hot pot, but more along the scale of a salad bar.
Yeah.
So especially when it's cold in the Inner Sunset, I'm like, soup, and you can get, like a salad bar, you can get carried away, but you put all the ththings you want in your basket and then you pick out your broth.
Yeah.
And then they make you soup, and it's
so it could be with meat or without meat.
When they have just like a salad bar, they have a variety of different.
I don't like meat, and mostly don't like meat, but I find a hard time getting soups like that without meat.
I want. Usually more of a fish person, and so they have fish and shrimp, and then you can get the different kinds of broth, and they have vegetarian and also non-vegetarian. So those are kind of some of my favorites right now, but there's a new banh mi place in the Inner Sunset.
I heard about it. Yeah.
Also really nice.
Is it good?
Really nice family. Delicious. Yes, I have a friend and she has a young son, and we've been friends. So now he's 23, but we met when he was 4, and he and I are big Indian food fans. And so we were very much regulars at Naan and Curry for a long time. Naan and Curry is no more, but it was replaced by replaced by Sunset. Sunset. Naan and Curry was very good. It was my favorite. Yeah. But it was replaced by Sunset Indian cuisine.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is great.
Is that great?
It is really good. Okay. And I would say that it's also it's nice for takeout, but it's also a nicer sit down atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And also so that's a new restaurant that I'm
interesting.
Supporting. There's so many. There's also another nice Indian restaurant on 9th called Masala Dosa.
That has been around.
That's been around for a while. Yeah. Dumpling Park is. Okay. I think of it more as takeout, but lots of different kinds of dumplings. They also have soup. Okay. And that's relatively new. Sunflower Vietnamese restaurant. It has changed its name, but it's basically the same restaurant. That's on Ninth. There's another one on Irving, which is also good. And then Korean food,
Mana's
really good and very, very popular. That's on Irving. There's also the place where I try to forget about it because it's called Foghorn, and it's basically fried chicken and beer, which is probably the most delicious thing in the world. But I was like, no, well, if you really fall in love with this restaurant, you will be 300 pounds. If you want fried chicken and beer, it's amazing. Pasquale's has also been in the restaurant in the neighborhood for a really long time. I think that's
pizza, pasta,
definitely great, solid pizza.
Even calamari steak there's good.
I also have to give a shout out to the Beanery because the Beanery got me through the pandemic.
They've been around.
The Beanery on Ninth, and still I go there 7-ish in the morning after boot camp. They got my coffee ready for me.
Really?
Yeah. And I would say that those the folks at the Beanery, that they were my ride or dies during the pandemic. So
nice.
Also I really like the Fireside. That's a bar.
That's where we went for your birthday.
Yeah, that's where I went for my birthday. My birthday was there, and Lisa, the owner's really, really nice. They've got a fireplace. They've got a fireplace, and it's also kind of famous for having people bring their dogs. They're nice, well-behaved dogs, and sometimes there's a dog who likes to put his paws up at the bar like he's ordering a drink. So that's cute. That's fun. Yeah. Yancey's is a place that my work friends really like to go to. We've had some goodbye parties. A good thing to do at Yancey's, you can do it at the Fireside as well, is get a pizza from Pasquale's and then bring it to the bar, get some beers or something. That's really fun. Santung, I see that. The chicken wings are amazing.
There's a line there.
There's always a line. I think I've only been in once. I order the chicken wings online and then just pick them up. Yeah.
Their noodles and dumplings, they're pretty authentic.
And of course, there's Arizmendi. I was there today.
You were? What'd you get?
My go-to at Arizmendi is cheese roll. I love a cheese roll.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just, and
people love their pizza.
The pizza is also very good. And the one thing I mourn, R.I.P. Park Chow.
Park Chow. I spent so much time at Park Chow.
You did?
Yeah. Well, it was a go-to place to take my son when he was younger.
Why?
I don't know. Because
you could take when my dad would come to visit. You could take your children. You can take your elderly parents, you can take your friends, anybody there, they'll find something they want to eat.
Exactly.
It's something for everybody, and also very reasonably priced. And when you
can't go there anymore. So
right now is what's it called, Farella?
Now,
it's actually pretty good.
So Farella, I wouldn't say it's in my circle of restaurants, but one thing they have is really fun. I've been there once, and I want to go back again. Is they have that secret bar.
Oh, they do.
They have this secret bar.
And I didn't know that.
Knock 3 times.
Yeah, and I think you just ask the host if you can go. But then you kind of go up this back staircase, and it's just a little room, and then they have bespoke cocktails and little nibbles, and
Speaking of secretive, I don't know if we're going on to shops or whatever, but the magic shop.
It's right there. The magic shop.
I used to go there when I was a kid. It was just looking at everything with wonder, whoa, what's that?
It's still there.
Yes,
it's still there. It's still there. It's been there forever. The shop that I am hoping, I even donated to their GoFundMe, that I'm just waiting every day to come back, is the hardware store. The hardware store burned down, and that's been, goodness, now I would say about a year. But the hardware store was the best. But other stores, I did want to talk a little bit about, because we're talking about arts.
Yeah.
The Hunt and Gather, which is there. And there's also another gentleman. I think this place is called Seismic Waterworks, also on Irving. And the Seismic Waterworks is a local guy who had a previous career, but now he does these really lovely watercolors, mostly of the sunset.
I thought it was a construction.
Yeah, no. You know what? It's Seismic Watercolors. The person's name, I looked it up. His name is Andy Forrest.
Okay.
And another local artist I wanted to shout out is you can follow. It's Hearts Found on Instagram.
Okay.
I highly recommend it. So Hearts Found, and I'm going to mispronounce this name, but the person is an Inner Sunset person as well. His name is Roy Tatinen. So Hearts Found is, you know how it's I left my heart in San Francisco.
Right.
Well, he finds those hearts, but in the most beautiful way. So if you follow him, you'll see, pictures of nature. There are always pictures of nature, usually around the Inner Sunset or in Golden Gate Park, where you see hearts in the landscape, like either in the knots of the trees or maybe in the clouds, or maybe in like even a stone when you're looking at the Muni. And so he posts a picture of the heart that he's found and then a little poem, and it's really lovely. And
I was going to add a couple of my favorites, and Amanda, I'm sure you have some too. Marnie Thai.
Oh yeah.
It's also has been around for a long time. And I think I was trying to tell you about those little coconut pancakes.
Oh, yeah, the coconut pancakes. That sounded so good.
Coconut pancakes. They have this thing, like cast iron thing with little coconut pancakes with a little squash on top. And the curries are great. And Ibitsu.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you stole that from me. I was going to say it.
Okay.
No, Ibitsu, it's been there forever.
It's been there forever, yeah.
I can't remember when it opened, but I mean, I just remember it being there forever. And I remember when I was younger, they'd always have a line. It's a little easier to get into now, but it's still great.
Yeah, I went there recently. It's awesome, actually.
Sushi. In case anybody doesn't know.
Yeah, sushi. Oh, Japanese food, just general Japanese.
True.
Tartine, that's a newer place.
Mm-hmm. How about the Hometown Creamery?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Tasty ice cream.
Relatively new, but lovely.
Now, another my new favorite, and which has been around forever, is Lavash.
Yes. Lavash, yes.
For some
and
reason,
that's been around, and I was also a newer. It's been around, and I had never went until a few years ago.
Lavash,
yeah.
It's just lovely. For whatever reason, I never went there until maybe last year, and I've been back there. I don't know, 6-7 times since. Like I'm always there. They have outdoor area, and they have lovely music, and inside is beautiful, but the food is just fantastic. Pacific Catch.
You know, I don't really go there, and I don't know why. I went there before when it was Hang. It used to be a coffee shop called Hang.
Really?
And it was a long time ago, and I was just so sad when they left, and so maybe I'm like secretly boycotting them. But but I know like a lot of our neighbors really like Pacific Catch, so I need to give it a try.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, and it's like. It's a great space. It's got a great ambiance. The food is decent, but for some reason, we don't go.
Nobody's crazy about it. The only reason I like to go is the tiki bar in the back.
During the pandemic, we go to the tiki bar, which I thought was genius.
Yeah, because then you can be like 10 feet apart. You don't have to be close to anyone. That was awesome.
And it's a cool space. I mean, for sure.
And there are a bunch of new restaurants, actually. There's a new Thai place, Kotai.
Yes, I did try that. Yeah.
How did you like it?
It's very good. It's fancy. I thought it was a little bit pricey, but very, very, very delicious food. Really.
So
really
you recommend it? I haven't tried that yet. That blog has like 5 or 6 new places. There's a all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue place
yes, there too. Is. Yeah, we had a work party there.
How was it?
Very, very tasty. Yeah.
So basically, the thing about living in Inner Sunset is you can't possibly keep up.
Options.
You can't keep up with all the new restaurants and new things.
But can we? I have to mention one other thing because it's like what do you call that? The keystone of the neighborhood. Anyway, On the Run.
Oh yes.
Oh, On the Run. Yes.
1964.
On the Run.
This was the place. 1964, not 1864.
Yeah.
But they've been around forever. That was the place my mom would take me to get shoes when I was younger. They'd measure your feet.
Yeah,
I think they still do all that stuff. They do. And then you run up and down the block. I mean, their level of service
is amazing,
and
their knowledge
training
is amazing.
And stuff. It's just you don't get that very much.
Actually, one time I went to a foot doctor, and they were like, "We can sell you like really expensive orthotics, or you can go to On the Run."
Yep.
And so
I've heard that. Yeah. I've heard that before. Yeah. So they've been around for ever. And
their founder just passed away the last couple of years.
I think so
a
too.
little memorial to him, but he really dedicated to like providing great quality shoes to people and to get people out there and moving. And so
it's awesome. I mean, I heard about this place a long time ago, but it's only last couple of years. That's the only store I go to.
They're really good because they have, a variety of different from the like super athletic to, elderly people
and
looking for,
shoes,
walking shoes.
Right.
And they do have some of those, that European,
European shoes.
Handmade Italian leather shoes.
That's right. They do have all that. So, Amanda, what other favorite places of yours in Inner Sunset?
Yes, I mean, Green Apple Books.
Okay.
Always been a great place to go.
Yes. They have events and
but it's great. Local small bookstore. Those are great places. San Francisco, you can go and get San Francisco themed clothing and hats and stuff like that. But I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, we covered a lot of Inner Sunset.
The businesses and all of that kind of stuff. I think it's a great neighborhood. And as you said, you're never going to run out of things to do and places to go and places to walk and hike and bike and run. And
everything. Everything you want to do, you can probably find
right there. It's just the weather, right?
The weather is as bad as in the outer Sunset, but I think the weather it's a little bit on the colder side. Like it's not the Mission. It's you always bring a sweater when you're in the Inner Sunset. In the Inner Sunset, you have Golden Gate Park. You it's an easy walk to the Haight. You can walk to the beach. You can walk, even all the way across the park to the Richmond. There's lots of great. We didn't talk about
they've got
public transportation.
Public transportation is awesome for Inner Sunset too, right?
You've got the Anjuta. You've got all the bus lines. Very well connected. Great place to live.
Great place to live.
Hard to park.
Right. The downside is really
getting harder to park.
All right. So we learned so much about Inner Sunset. The bottom line is it's a great place to live, as Marilyn just told us. Any last advice or anything for a newcomer to Inner Sunset?
Well, we do have a lot of newcomers that come to the Inner Sunset because it's also a tourist destination because of all the museums and everything. But just come and enjoy. I would say you can plan a great, perfect day. Go to the Japanese tea garden. Go to the Arboretum. Enjoy restaurants and just kind of walk around and see the diversity of the people that live in the Inner Sunset.
It's very diverse. Yes.
It's very diverse. Yes. You will feel at home in the Inner Sunset, whoever you are. Whoever you are.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Amanda. And we will see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.